Hey, good morning, y'all. I see y'all. Come on, let's get on up in here and get this live popping. Good times. Hey, come on, y'all. Let's get it. Good morning. Get your cup of Joe. Get your devil's lettuce. Hey, whatever it takes for you to have a good morning. Let's get on up in here and let's get this live cranking. Hey, before I let go, hey.
You know I thank God sunrise. Ooh, you should know.
Hey, come on up in here.
I wanna make sure I'm
It's 8:03, Wednesday, June the 11th. Y'all know what time it is. It's straight motherfucking facts. And black people, come on up in here. Let's get it. Hey.
We hurt each other.
Hey.
And boy, it's a shame. I won't be foolish.
Hey. I won't be foolish. I wanna know, right? I gotta make sure it come right. Hey. Before we let go. Hey. Before we let go, honey, that's a good, you know what? I didn't even trip off the words of that song until I just listened to it just a minute ago. Because black people, that's exactly what we saying. We saying, listen, we need to make sure we right, baby, before we let motherfucking go. Because we are about to let go. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. Black people are saying we about to let the motherfucking shit go. We gonna let this shit go. We've been fighting for a long time. Our motherfucking ship ended in November. And I'm standing on that. Because the more days that goes by and we have to endure this bullshit that's going on in the Trump administration, coming from the envelopians, the translucents, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, we are starting to realize that this is not our motherfucking fight. You understand me? It is not our fight. We need to sit back and watch it happen. Now, listen. Wait, before I even get into that, I promised you guys yesterday that I will finish playing the Tory and the Langley flick to see what had happened there. So before I even get into all the rest of the stuff that we're going to talk about, because this is a serious and deep live that I'm going to do today. It's going to require some thoughts. You're going to have to really pay attention because you guys know I love a good chronological order and I like to make sense of what's happening. And you know, in order to understand what's going on, it is imperative for us to understand what happened in the past. If you do not have a good understanding of American history, you will get lost in the sauce. If you don't understand what Black Americans gave to this country and why we are sitting the fuck out and the history behind that, you will get lost in the sauce. You will allow yourself to get caught up in the motherfucking narrator. You will allow yourself to get caught up in the propaganda. You will allow yourself to be hoodwinked because you don't understand exactly what happened. See, the one thing about us as black people, African Americans in this country is that we've been here since the fucking beginning. So we have a clear understanding. Thank you guys. I'm in the C5 league now, baby. We are moving up. I said thank you. Thank you so much. Y'all can send them, what is it, go up arrows. That stuff worked. Because whoever came here and said that makes you go up in your ranking, they were absolutely correct. So if you guys want to send those go up arrows or whatever they call, you're more than welcome to send them. But again, I'm going to go back. It is imperative. So sometimes I need to actually jump around a little bit to explain what happened and what's going on. Thank you so much for subscribing. See that you have some beautiful emotes that you can go in there and use. If you are a subscriber, I said thank you. Because I increasingly understand that it is about send the polar arrows, the popular arrows. Thank you, the popular arrows. So I'm increasingly understanding more and more that it is imperative that we understand what happened here. And I like a good chronological order. Sometimes I skip around though, because, you have to kind of skip and go back and forth. But today I am not. Today is going to be a very deep conversation, a deep dive into the immigration history of America. And we're going to put it in chronological order. And I'm going to play some things that you may agree with or you may not agree with. But the thing about it is that in chronological order, you don't play things that you agree with. You don't show things that align with what you're saying all the time. You're just putting it in a chronological order so people can understand and come to their own conclusion. And that's what I need to do. And I think that a lot of times when people migrate to this country, they truly don't understand the plight of African Americans. Again, the good thing about African Americans is that we've been here from the very beginning. So you cannot tell us what the fuck happened. We know what the fuck happened. We don't have to go back in history books to figure out what happened. All we have to do is just remember. Thank you, Alikins. I see you tearing up that gift and gold. Thank you so much. All we have to do is just remember. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some remembering today. Because the more that you remember, the better you are at explaining it to your children going down the line. And that's what I'm here for. I told my husband when I got out of bed this morning, I said, wish me luck this morning. Because I'm not coming to you guys right now as a TikTok content creator. I'm not at all. I'm coming to you guys this morning as a full-fledged teacher. Okay, so if you need to get your notepads out, if you need to screen record this live, if you need to mods, I encourage you. You have access to the live recordings now. I encourage you to take this live and go ahead and post it on your page. You have my full permission to do so. Because this is a live that you're going to need to show other people eventually. If it's not today, if it's not tomorrow, it might be 10 years from now. It might be 20 years from now. You might have to show your great grandkids. So I need for you guys to really pay as much attention as you can while you're getting yourself ready for work or what have you, or just lifing. Good morning, Yvonne. How are you doing this morning? Don't forget that I do have a gift and go while we are listening this morning. Don't forget that you guys still tapping is clapping. Don't forget that if you want to support the live, to support my platform, you can always send actual cash to you know where you can send it to. You can find that information in my profile, in my what am I trying to say? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Over there in the profile. That's what, yeah. Over there. Over there. All right. Just click on this, the bio. The bio. That's what I'm trying to say. Bio. I don't know why that, it just went out my mind. You know, you get old, baby. You start getting old. Words start just leaving your damn brain and shit. The words you just said yesterday. And then today you be like, what is that word? What is that word? What is that word? Girl, don't get old. Don't get old. Anyway, yesterday, before we continue though, I'm glad to see, thank you, Jason. Thank you. I see you, buddy. Before we continue, though, I promised you guys that I would play the video because we really were running out of time yesterday. So I didn't get a chance to really play the video of Langley and the African-American U.S. general talking about Ibrahim Traoré. This is the president of Burkina Faso. It is a country in Africa, okay? Because Africa is a continent with several different countries. Okay? And he is the president of Burkina Faso, who is stirring up a whole bunch of noise because he is waking not only his people, but all Africans around the world. He's waking them up. He's doing a bigger job than what I'm doing here, and a minimal job. But we all got to do our part. So I'm gonna do my part. Okay. So I'm gonna let you guys hear what Langley had to say, so you guys can understand what I'm playing first, and then we're gonna go in to the response of Ibrahim Traoré. It won't be in French. He's gonna be speaking this French, but somebody is gonna be translating it in English. So here we go.
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Torrey and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that. And there are nefarious actors in the CCP and sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
Okay, well, you can't imagine how frustrating it seems to me that this mineral-rich continent has not been able to move.
Absolutely,
Okay.
Chairman.
So he's basically trying to tell Ibrahim Traoré what to fucking do with their gold. See, this is an example of America's overreach. Of America trying to tell another country, good morning, Linda, America trying to tell another country what the fuck to do. Okay. And so, at some point, you have to realize that America is not always the savior, and I'm sure we're starting to realize that now more than ever, that sometimes America does more harm than good. Sometimes, we as African Americans in this country, it appears that we take the side of the translucent, and you're absolutely right. When it comes to Africa and some of the movements that we make as African Americans, we make movements that appear to be aligning with the colonizers. And I can see how that can be misconstrued. I can see how over the years it looks like we have put our Americanism over our Africanism. I'll just say it like that. And I think that today is going to be an eye-opener to the complex relationship that African Americans have with America. I can't tell you whether it's good or bad to be proud to be an American right now. I used to be able to say it with my full chest. I'm an American first, and then I'm African. That's getting a little bit blurred for me at this point. Because the things that America represents, I realize that I may have been naive, especially since I've never been in the military. I think people that have been in the military before have a better understanding of America and how America moves throughout this world. And they've had a good bird's eye view of the hypocrisy that is America. So I'm going to play Ibrahim Traoré's response to this. And I want you to, gather your opinions. I definitely want to hear everything that you guys have to say. We might not be able to talk about it, bring everybody up to talk about it until Friday, not Friday, but tomorrow, the first thing in the morning, because this is going to be a long live, and I really almost don't have room for people to even come up on the panel. But I would like, if I can at the end, I will definitely bring you up. But I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time that may be the case. But I want you guys to. This is a homework assignment, because you know what I will. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow, because I want you guys to sit on it. That's getting hard for me to be proud to be a U.S. citizen as well as a white woman is very sad. Yes. Because this information that I'm going to give you today, I really want you guys to sit on it. I want you to think about it. I want you to roll your brain around what I'm going to give you guys today. And then I want you guys to come talk about it tomorrow. If you want to talk about it in the chat right now, you're free to do so. But I'm just saying, this is going to be a heavy live. I'm just warning you right now. So let me go ahead and let you hear Ibrahim Traoré's response. I got a flash go going on right now, so I'm going to go ahead and set that up real quick while I am playing Ibrahim Touré's response. It's only 40 roses. I'm sure we can knock that out in a matter of minutes. So let's go.
It's Burkina Faso's gold. It doesn't concern him. First, he talks about Burkina Faso's gold that we supposedly use for our protection and everything. First of all, it's Burkina Faso's gold. It's not his gold. That's the first thing. What business is it of his? It's none of his business. It's Burkina Faso's gold. It doesn't concern him. Secondly, he lied because Burkina Faso never had gold reserves until we arrived. We are the ones who started reserving gold in the treasury of Burkina Faso. Otherwise, there wasn't a single gram of gold reserve in Burkina Faso. That means he's a liar again. And the aspect that hurt me the most, not because he's a general or because he's American or whatever, it's because he's black. And it hurts a lot to see that they use a black man to fight a black man. The black race must not be used to fight black people. And every time it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And that's what we deplore. And it hurt us a lot to see that it was a black man who made these remarks. In a fiery rebuttal to US General Langley's remarks before this...
I don't have to play the whole video. It was the last piece of that video. Let me play it one more time.
He lied because Burkina Faso never had gold reserves until we arrived. We are the ones who started reserving gold in the treasury of Burkina Faso. Otherwise, there wasn't a single gram of gold reserve in Burkina Faso. That means he's a liar again. And the aspect that hurt me the most, not because he's a general or because he's American or whatever, it's because he's black. And it hurts a lot to see that they use a black man to fight a black man. The black race must not be used to fight black people. And every time it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And that's what we deplore. And it hurt us a lot to see that it was a black man who made these remarks. In a fiery...
Does that sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? You know when we tell envelopians and translucents that we were kidnapped and brought from Africa to hear Good Morning Key, right? You know how we talk about that? And the first response that they have is that you sold each other into slavery? See how far back the manipulation goes, you guys? They used us against us. Does that sound familiar? What's going on today? You think it's an accident that what's going on today is not the same thing that they did to get us over here in the first place? Y'all peep game, right? The reason why they keep using it is because it's working. When you guys sit up on these apps and you guys argue with each other about colorism, it's working. When you guys sit up on this app and y'all talk about black men and black women, it's working. When you guys sit up and you guys differentiate yourself from African Americans or Africans in this fight, and you come over here and you believe what the white man told you about black people, African Americans of this country, and you snoot your nose down at us as if we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we've been in this country a lot longer than you and we understand the enemy better than you, it's working. You guys think that it's African Americans that's turning on Africans. No, we are fucking trying to tell you, warn you, my brothers and sisters, that these motherfuckers will lie. They will pat you on your back and say, bless your heart, and then at the same time be poking you. They will write a whole constitution that says we the people and never meant no black people. Nah, never, ever. They would talk about immigration and model immigrants, model minorities, and not talking about your ass. They will allow a group of people to migrate into this motherfucking country and to let them think that they're white all the way up until they don't want to be bothered with you any longer. We tried to tell you guys. When you guys first start coming over here from Haiti, Africa, Nigeria, wherever the fuck, Jamaica, wherever y'all was coming from. We black African Americans tried to tell y'all, but y'all foo-fooed us off. Y'all foo-fooed us the fuck off because what y'all did was y'all believed the antiquated stereotype about black people. Let me riddle me this, people. If we were conquered and enslaved like they say that we were, right? Why in the fuck do you not like us? I mean, I don't understand that to save my life. I mean, most of us don't give a fuck at this point, but I really want you guys to think about that. They came and got us, used our own people against us, worked us over here for thousands of years, I ain't gonna say thousands, but hundreds of years. And then finally, when we got to be free again, they mad because we don't want to work anymore. I only got 15 of the roses. Can I get 40 of those roses, please? We're at 15. I need to get what? 35 more, 25 more, however many more. Y'all do the math. I need those roses, please. If you could knock that flash goal out, I would really appreciate it. Remember, they used us against each other in order to push their narrative. Does that sound familiar? Okay, let's take it back. I'm glad I did play that first because that actually lined up. I was having a hard time lining that up, but I lined it up. Give me just a second. Let me show you something. There we go. That's exactly it. I'm good because I was going to have a hard time finding that. I know you guys are going to have a hard time with the comment section. Just bear with me for just one moment while I read this out for you. Just a second. I got to find it. Just a second. Because I know you guys can read it a little bit right now, but I need to read this out to you. I can kind of see it right here because it's going to be hard for me to find it. I know I just sent it to myself, but it's going to be a little bit hard for me to find it. Let me see if I can see it a different way. Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to find it because of that small print on a picture. Oh, here, I found it. Okay, I'm going to read this out for you guys so we can set the stage, okay? So I got to set the stage real quick about a few things. So the largest influx of immigrants into the United States occurred during the period of 1880 to 1914. Let me go ahead and put a picture up so you guys get an idea of what I'm referring to. See that? See that? The largest influx of immigrants into the United States occurred during the period of 1880 to 1914. So I started. Now, let me back up. I know a lot of you guys are like, StraightFactz, why are you skipping over? Because this is after slavery. You're talking about people who come. I mean, we came over here. Okay, I'm going to back up and let me be clear. I'm not starting with slavery because we were not immigrants. We don't add to this number. You get what I'm saying? We didn't come to this motherfucker by choice. Look, let me back up real quick. Let me do this. Let me do this. Cause see, maybe it's gonna take me to have to do this real quick so we can understand where I'm coming from. Cause see, I think that falls. I think that point right there misses people sometimes. And I think that we need to be clear when we talk about things. So immigrants, someone who chooses to leave their country of origin and move to a new country with the intentions of settling there, often for reasons like better opportunities, family reunification, or a desire for a new life. That does not describe us. That doesn't describe African American. We do not. We are not in this group of people. And I'm going to tell you something else that you probably never thought of. There's no one else in this motherfucker that's in this group of people that has the same shared experience. But Africans, African Americans in this country are the only ones who can explain to you what it means to be an African American in this continent, in this country, and know that we had ancestors that were enslaved in this country. Yeah, you may have been enslaved in other parts of the world, but this is our only very unique experience in this country. So, don't get me wrong, I take nothing from people in Jamaica, people in Haiti, and people all over the world, that were a part of the diaspora in the African and slave trade, because, they went to different places. But I'm referring to here in America, because this is where we're at, and this is what the fuck we're talking about today. Okay, we can talk about the other slaveries, other people that experienced slavery outside of the United States another day, but today ain't it. Today, we are focusing on African American chattel slavery in the United States of America, specifically those people. Okay, so I want to be clear. We were not a part of this group. I'm going to say it again. Immigrants. Someone who chooses, the operative word is chooses to leave their country of origin and move to a new country with the intentions of settling there, often for reasons like better opportunity, family reunification, or a desire for a new life. We didn't even get afforded a motherfucking choice to do so. Y'all understand what I'm saying to you? Because they used us against us. We actually align better with the definition of kidnapped, an abducted person, someone who has been taken from their country of origin against their will and brought to another, often for criminal purposes. Okay? Enslaved person, someone forced into gratitude or held into captivity against their will. So it's important to understand what words mean. Because sometimes we around these TikTok streets, y'all get that shit, y'all get these words mixed the fuck up. We're not going to get these words mixed up this morning. We're going to get these motherfucking words together. So let me go back. To the one that I had about immigration in this country, because I think that it's a necessity for us to go over it and understand it in its entirety. So the largest influx of immigrants, into the United States occurred during the period of 1880 to 1914, with a significant surge during the late 1800s and early 1900s. This period witnessed the arrival of over 20 million European immigrants. That's right, kaboom. Elaboration. Third wave. 1880-1914, this wave, characterized by a massive influx of European immigrants, saw a significant increase in the foreign-born population. Okay? Foreign-born population. Let me show you some more pictures. Look at this. So you can get a visual. Let me show you. Look at that. That looks like a motherfucking big-ass boat to me with a lot of people on it. That's what it looks like to me. A boat with a lot. We call, in California, we call that a gang of people. It's a lot of motherfucking people. I want y'all to understand, I can't show y'all that picture on accident, on purpose. I can't show y'all that picture. I can't show y'all that picture. But look at here. Look at all them goddamn people. Okay? So you guys get an understanding of the magnitude of what I'm referring to right now. Okay, let's go. So, this wave characterized, I'm going to read it again. Third wave, 1880-1940. This wave, characterized by a massive influx of European immigrants, saw a significant increase in the foreign-born population. Early 20th century, people in Europe seeking economic prosperity and religious freedom migrated to the U.S. Push factor. Conditions in Europe, including poverty, food shortages, and political instability, drove people to seek opportunities elsewhere. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? The U.S. was perceived as a land of opportunity, offering economic prosperity and personal freedom. Okay? That's why they brought their ass up over here. That's why they got on the boat and came up over here. Because conditions, while we were in fucking Africa having civilizations and empires, Mali Empire specifically. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Oh, okay. The Bantu people. Them is my people. Yeah. Conditions in Europe. Because notice, we weren't coming out of Africa to come to the U.S. We were in fucking Africa, minding our black business. Minding our black business. Again, this had nothing to do with us. Again, we weren't asking to come to this motherfucker. Y'all was coming. Not us. And the reason why y'all were coming on your own free will and didn't have to be kidnapped from Europe is because it was the conditions in Europe, including poverty, ghettos in Europe, food shortages, while we were over there eating and enjoying life. Because food in Africa at this time was abundant. Right now, that's right, they were getting diseases, bubonic plague, because they were urinating and defecating in the same water that they were bathing and drinking out of. If you don't believe me, look it the fuck up. Yeah, mice that were all over, just like they have in New York damn near right now, all over the fucking place. Because it was crowded and it was fucked up conditions. You know, the same bullshit that y'all say black on black crime. Yeah, you motherfuckers was on in Europe, whitey on whitey crime because of your conditions. They had to kick y'all motherfuckers up out of there because y'all was wrecking a motherfucker, wrecking a muck up in there. But did you say it was whitey on whitey crime at that time? No. You blamed it on the conditions that you were in, that they put you in, that the rich people put you in Europe. You know, the oligarchs. Okay. So, now that we understand what condition the Europeans were in that made them and forced them to have to come to this country, you guys should not say, you motherfucking translucents and you motherfucking envelopes, don't you say another thing about no black on black crime. When y'all motherfuckers came y'all ass over here because of whites on white crime, because you guys had poor conditions in your own country, ghettos, poverty, food insecurity, and I'm sure homelessness. Good morning, Uncle. You see, you understand? This is the reason why it is imperative that you understand your history. We're going to fast forward because we know what happened. We know that, it was Emancipation Proclamation. Black people became free. They should have never been slaves in the first place. They came out in the streets. We got black laws, vagrancy laws, while the Europeans, thought they was motherfucking the shit. Even though just 60 years ago, they had came over here because they were in fucked up conditions and then got the nerve. See, you see how easy it is? You see why it was easy for them to go ahead and enslave us and put us in a fucked up position and keep putting obstacles in front of us? Because they came here at the bottom of the motherfucking totem pole. And then when they got their raggedy ass here, they decided to oppress other people so they can feel special. Matter of fact, they made a whole motherfucking system so they can feel special. Again, we didn't ask to come to this raggedy motherfucker. All right, let's bring it up. Let's bring it on back up. So now we're going to come to a more recent time. I want to remind you guys of something. Let me remind you guys of something real quick that you may have forgot about. Let me refresh your memory, especially the young folks' memory. Good morning, Brown Sugar, especially the young folks' memory. Let's refresh it, shall we? Okay. This is Ronald Reagan. This is one of the last speeches that Ronald Reagan did during his presidency. Because we all know that, just in case the backstory, y'all don't know, Ronald Reagan had Alzheimer's. Okay? And so what happened was his wife actually was the president of the United States during his last term. Yeah, that's right. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that Nancy Reagan was the president of the United States the last 4 years. And y'all motherfuckers got the nerve to talk about Joe Biden. The caucasity. You see what I'm talking about? And say a motherfucking thing about Reagan. See, some of y'all didn't even know that. I had to explain that to you. That's a well-known fact. But they damn sure didn't put it out there. You don't see the motherfucking Trumpers. You don't see MAGA Splagger and nobody else. NAGA talking about Ronald Reagan, the Republican president. Y'all don't talk about Ronald Reagan, how y'all put in the White House because he was a motherfucking movie star. Does it sound familiar? Oh, okay. Okay. Kept that shit quiet as fuck. Yeah. Okay. Let me refresh y'all memory with this speech right here. Yes, Nancy wore the pantsy. That's right. And she was the throaty. 3000. From what I understand, she was known in Hollywood circles that she was a Guac Guac 3000, baby. Okay. Let's let you hear what Ronald Reagan has to say. This is going to be a little bit long. It's about 5 minutes. But listen to every single word that he says. Good morning, Caribbean Queen. How you doing, sweetheart?
Since this is the last speech that I will give as president, I think it's fitting to leave one final thought, an observation about a country which I love.
And Nancy Reagan right there beside him.
A letter I received not long ago. A man wrote me and said, "You can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go to live in Germany or Turkey or Japan, but you cannot become a German, a Turk, or Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American." Yes, the torch of Lady Liberty symbolizes our freedom and represents our heritage, the compact with our parents, our grandparents, and our ancestors. It is that lady who gives us our great and special place in the world. For it's the great life force of each generation of new Americans that guarantees that America's triumph shall continue unsurpassed into the next century and beyond. Other countries may seek to compete with us, but in one vital area, as a beacon of freedom and opportunity that draws the people of the world, no country on earth comes close. This, I believe, is one of the most important sources of America's greatness. We lead the world because, unique among nations, we draw our people, our strength, from every country and every corner of the world. And by doing so, we continuously renew and enrich our nation. While other countries cling to the stale past, here in America, we breathe life into dreams, we create the future, and the world follows us into tomorrow. Thanks to each wave of new arrivals to this land of opportunity, we're a nation forever young, forever bursting with energy and new ideas, and always on the cutting edge, always leading the world to the next frontier. This quality is vital to our future as a nation. If we ever closed the door to new Americans, our leadership in the world would soon be lost. A number of years ago, an American student traveling in Europe took an East German ship across the Baltic Sea. One of the ship's crew members from East Germany, a man in his 60s, struck up a conversation with the American student. After a while, the student asked the man how he'd learned such good English, and the man explained that he had once lived in America. He said that for over a year he'd worked as a farmer in Oklahoma and California, that he'd planted tomatoes and picked ripe melons. It was, the man said, the happiest time of his life. Well, the student, who'd seen the awful conditions behind the Iron Curtain, blurted out the question, "Well, why did you ever leave?" "I had to," he said. The war ended. The man had been in America as a German prisoner of war. Now, I don't tell this story to make the case for former POWs. Instead, I tell this story just to remind you of the magical, intoxicating power of America. We may sometimes forget it, but others do not. Even a man from a country at war with the United States, while held here as a prisoner, could fall in love with us. Those who become American citizens love this country even more. And that's why the Statue of Liberty lifts her lamp to welcome them to the Golden Door. It is bold men and women yearning for freedom and opportunity who leave their homelands and come to a new country to start their lives over. They believe in the American dream, and over they make it come true for themselves, for their children, and for others. They give more than they receive, they labor and succeed, and often they are entrepreneurs. But their greatest contribution is more than economic, because they understand in a special way how glorious it is to be an American. They renew our pride and gratitude in the United States of America, the greatest, freest nation in the world, the last best hope of man on earth.
Now that was Ronald Reagan. That was a Republican president. He was governor of California before he became the president of the United States, right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to drill down a little bit. We're going to drill down and we're going to get closer to today. Because I want you guys to see the hypocrisy. I want you guys to see the flip-floppy-ish, yeah, I just made that word up, of the Europeans, the envelopians, the translucents. The way they loosely wrote the Constitution said, we the people. But see what they fucked up and didn't do is say, we the white tea people. You get what I'm saying? You know why they didn't do that? Because they knew that they were going to have to, more of them were going to have to immigrate from Europe. They knew that they needed other people to come into this country to help them raise their kids, pick their cotton, and build their buildings. And show them how to wash their ass, their arse. Because remember, they came here from poor conditions. They came here because they were hungry. Okay? So they needed us. Okay? Let me play you something else that's going to really have y'all fucked up. So this that I'm about to play for you guys this morning. Where is it at? Let me see where it is. Just a second. I really hope that I sent this to myself this morning. And I don't think I sent it to myself. Fudge. Hold on just a second. I'm going to see if I can send it to myself. And it does. And if the live doesn't cut off. If it does, y'all come right back. Because I got to send this to myself. I can't grab it any other way. So just a second. Okay, great. It didn't bop you guys. Excellent. So now I'm gonna play something.
Problem. My own congressman refuses to address the problem. And I think the problem is... Hold
on just a second.
Black folks see...
This person that you guys are gonna hear speaking right now...
We're not here for our common good. They're here for their own good.
Oh, where I know
elected officials refuse to address the problem.
Okay. So... This person's name is Terry Anderson on illegal aliens in South Central. This was 14 years ago. You guys, remember when he's talking about this, this didn't just happen yesterday. Okay? This happened over a period of time. Because I know that when I lived in Southern California and grew up in Southern California, it was 1980, 88, 89, 90. Pretty much at the height of the you-know-what epidemic, okay? So at that time, we noticed the influx of immigrants. As a matter of fact, I actually went to school one day and came home, and my neighborhood was filled with Vietnamese people. And I believe it was because we agreed to allow them to come in because we kind of sort of lost that war, the Vietnam War. So we had to take in their refugees. You guys remember what I'm talking about. And so instead of sending them to the white tea neighborhoods, they sent them to our neighborhoods. I want you to hear what this gentleman has to say concerning that. Again, his name is Terry Anderson, and this was 14 years ago.
I refuse to address the problem. The black elected officials refuse to address the problem. My own congressman refuses to address the problem. And I think the problem is black folks see all minorities as allies. And this is not the case. These people are not here for our common good. They're here for their own good. Where I don't have any ill will towards anybody, I also want to look out for my race. I'm a black American. I've never used a hyphen. But I will refuse to turn my back on my race and see what's going on in South Central to my people and let these people come in here and just take over. I'm not going to sit back and watch it. And I think it's a terrible thing, a horrendous thing for anybody to see this going on and say, well, he's a minority like me, so I won't speak up. I don't care where he comes from. The key to this whole thing is stop the denial, stop the alliances of, in other words, he's a minority like me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on, there would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happened to move into the wrong communities. We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all-Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white on black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir, it's the numbers. They come here in the numbers, they build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media. The black kids are being run out of the schools every day and told to go back to Africa. It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society. Economic, schools, even in our prisons now. They have drawn lines, and our prisoners in California are being beat and harassed and raped by Hispanic gang members who recently arrived here because of the numbers. My answer to you, sir, would be we don't need any new laws. Enforce the ones we got.
I decided to go with...
refuse to address the problem. The black elected officials refuse.
What did he say? Read it. Why do Serenos in prison side with whites over blacks, even though we share most of the neighborhoods? Serenos share more neighborhoods with black people. I'm not going to say blacks, but black people, because I don't like that word, blacks. We told y'all this was happening. We said this to you guys. He went into Congress and said it. But y'all foo-fooed us off. Because Ronald Reagan said it was a good thing. Because y'all came over here. That was excellent. Yeah. No problem. It wasn't a problem until it was a problem for the white tea man. It wasn't a problem until the white tea man couldn't get that construction gig. It wasn't a problem until they were outworking and underbidding you contractors. It wasn't a problem until you went to Walmart and it was more of them in Walmart than it was you. It wasn't a problem until you realized that you were fucking shedding off more people than you were actually birthing. It was not a problem until you felt like they were voting on the side of Democrats. It wasn't a problem until it became a problem for white tea people. We have been telling you guys this for the longest, and you did not motherfucking listen. Okay, so let's get down to COVID. Okay, so I did a Google search. I did a chat GTP or whatever the fuck y'all want to call it. Y'all know I don't know what the fuck that shit is. I'm too old for that shit. But I looked up what effect did Trump's mismanagement of COVID have on the country. And what it said to me was this: Trump did not manage COVID appropriately, so we had to close down the border. I don't have to show you guys anything. You guys were here. Now you guys are picking up what the fuck I'm putting down. You were here. Now we have immigrants into this country, not just from Mexico, but all over the world, including Europe. Because you immigrants that came in here between the years of 1880 and 1914 are still your motherfucking immigrant asses here. Because 1914 was really not that long ago. You're maybe second, third, maybe generation if you're lucky. Now you're here with the immigrants that Ronald Reagan said was good for this country. Bring them in. We even got a statue from France to celebrate black freedom, because that's what the statue was really for. They covered up the motherfucking the chains at the bottom of her feet, because that's what it represented actually. But y'all wanted to make it represent a beacon of light for immigrants to come over. Remember that's what y'all told us? Remember that's what y'all said. Okay? And then he had to close down the border. You know who I'm talking about when I say he had to. I'm talking about Trump, because he mismanaged COVID. He failed to get it under control in a timely fashion. And so then it went rapid wild. And if you think that COVID really did not exist, I tell you what, go take a fucking biology class, because you have no idea what's the difference between a virus, a bacteria, and a fungus is with your spread neck asses. I heard somebody say yesterday, and it sounds like, I think it was Gorilla, said something about how black people were apprehensive in taking the shot because we have been fucked with all of our lives, the Tuskegee Airmen, and he accidentally called them something else, and he tried to say that that was a racist term. No, it was not. It was the truth. So it took a lot to convince black people to go out there and get that shot. We were more apprehensive than you motherfuckers who didn't want to wear a mask because you thought that made you be like a fucking slave. See, it's funny to me how y'all do everything in your power to stay away from the innuendo, or maybe might be treated like a slave, but you didn't mind treating other people like they are fucking slaves or dehumanizing. You talk to us the same way now, but y'all don't own a motherfucking thing. Not shit. Not shit. You don't even really own this country, if you really want to know the truth. But remember, it wasn't a Democratic president that was in office when COVID came into play. It wasn't a Democratic president that said, oh yeah, all the immigrants can come into the country and we need all the immigrants. It wasn't us that immigrated to this motherfucking raggedy motherfucker. It wasn't African Americans. It was you motherfuckers. All y'all. Everybody. The fuck? Everybody except for us and the motherfucking indigenous people. We all can motherfucking snort our goddamn noses down at everybody if the fuck we want to. We can. Because all you motherfuckers immigrated to this raggedy motherfucker besides us. Let's call a fucking thing a thing. So then, when he mismanaged COVID, and then had to close down the border because people were coming over here from different countries and shit, spread neck in our goddamn country. Let y'all tell it. We had to close the country down. Y'all forget about that part. It was because of Trump's mismanagement is the reason why we had to close the country down. It's called cause and a motherfucking effects that you motherfuckers seem to forget about, that we do not forget about because we were in this motherfucker with you. You can lie all you want, motherfucking want to. But that's what happened. Those are straight fucking facts, period. Okay, so now we're there. So then Biden comes in office to help us, which is what he did. He didn't have to come out of fucking retirement. He was a fucking congressman. He had lost his damn near his whole family. He was a motherfucking vice president. He had a wonderful career. He didn't have to come out of retirement to come help us in this raggedy motherfucker. Obama even tried to help it a little bit by motherfucking deporting motherfuckers up out this country. But y'all talked about him like a dog during that time. But mighty funny when the motherfucking white teak man, the translucent, the envelopian came into this motherfucker and had to close down the goddamn border because he mismanaged COVID. Y'all championed that when the motherfucking Republican envelopian man, motherfucking Ronald Reagan, said it was a good thing to have immigrants into this country. Y'all motherfucking clapped like fucking seals. Y'all. Immigrants. Now today, you motherfuckers want to be mad. It's the hypocrisy for me. It's the inability to hold yourself accountable. It's the you come in talking about other motherfuckers and other motherfuckers' demographics and numbers and statistics, and you don't fucking ever talk about your own. I bet you a lot of you guys didn't know that the biggest influx of motherfucking immigrants into this country were Europeans. 20 million of them. Let's talk about this shit. We don't talk about it. Let's motherfucking talk about it. Fuck you talking about? That's why when I get on motherfucking lines right now and I start talking to the motherfuckers, I just start screaming. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of you motherfuckers deflecting. I'm tired of you motherfuckers pivoting. I'm tired of you disingenuous ass motherfuckers. I'm tired of you motherfuckers pretending like you don't know the history because like we know the history. You motherfuckers know the goddamn history. If you didn't know when you got on TikTok, your bitch ass been on this motherfucker for 3 or 4 years now. You know it now. Stop playing with us. Stop trying to use us against each other. You see what Ibrahim Torre said. It wasn't the fact that he lied. It was the fact that it was another black man that they used. Spencer, Kenneth, you're a danger. And from this point on, I refuse to be on the motherfucking panel with either one of you. If you on the motherfucking panel, I'm dropping. Because you're dangerous. You're allowing them to use you against your own black fucking people. Okay, let's move on. So we understand what happened. We know the border had to get closed down. And then Biden got in office. Like I said, didn't have to come help us. But he did. Because he's an American. He got in motherfucking office and he cleared this shit up. The best he did, he did a damn good job. I'm not gonna motherfucking pretend like Biden didn't do a damn good job like some of you motherfucking flip-flopping ass motherfucking content creators want to run around here now and try to just talk about Biden like a dog. Talk about him because you want to motherfucking smooth it over with the motherfucking conservative. MAGA, NAGA, blagga. Fuck y'all. He did a damn good job. But for Biden, we will be fucked up. A lot more of us would have unalived. Motherfucking Trump's mismanagement caused millions of people to be unalived in this country. And you motherfuckers gloss over it, glaze over it like it didn't happen. I remember because I got motherfucking relatives that are no longer here because of his mismanagement. The fuck? That's what I said. And I said what I said. Y'all motherfuckers scared to say it? I'll say it again. We lost millions of people. He should have been motherfucking prosecuted for that alone. Biden tried to hold the motherfucking border back. Y'all remember that? He tried to keep the motherfucking border closed. Because he knew that this country wasn't ready for the influx of immigrants that were going to come through the border because of the border being closed for a specific amount of time. They were going to keep on trying to come over there trying to leave their countries because we We fucked up their economy. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all know the word. You know, I be talking sometimes and lose a motherfucking word, but y'all know what I mean. Venezuela. Fucked up their economy. Over there minding their motherfucking business. Let all the Venezuelans come in here. With TPS. Cubans. Let them come over here because you done fucked up Castro over there. Fucking with them. All in their goddamn business. You gotta let them come over here. There wasn't no Democrats that did that. Fuck you talking about? You destabilize these people's countries, and then you got the nerve to talk about them coming over here when you were an immigrant in this country your own self. The only motherfuckers that got the motherfucking nerve, got the reach, got the good. How am I trying to say? The only people that can talk about immigrants and be mad about them coming to this country is indigenous people and African Americans, because we did not ask to come to this raggedy motherfucker. You Europeans can't talk about these motherfucking immigrants coming over here because you're an immigrant your own self. It's the caucasity for me. It's the hypocrisy for me. Now, when Biden tried to keep the border closed, and he is so smart for doing this. It had to go, the Republican Party challenged him. It went to the Supreme Court. Y'all remember that? The Supreme Court said, we cannot continue leaving this border closed because the only reason why it's closed is because of the pandemic, and the pandemic is no longer here. So they had to open back up the border. Y'all remember that? It was the Republican Party that challenged the shit in the Supreme Court. If they would have left it the fuck alone, Biden could have kept the fucking border closed. But no. He said, I want to open the border because this motherfucking pandemic is over with. You motherfuckers challenge it. And the Supreme Court said, okay, yeah. Well, we can't keep it closed because we can't open it up because, no, we can't keep it closed because it's the pandemic. We got to open the motherfucker up. You challenged it. And the Supreme Court that Trump sat agreed and said it needs to be fucking open. Biden didn't do that by himself. He didn't disregard the motherfucking Supreme Court. He did what the Supreme Court said. And I know we all thought that was kind of weird for him to do that. But now think about it. Think about it. Think about it. You can't put this on Biden. You challenged it. And when you challenged it, the Supreme Court sided with Biden. Your Supreme Court that you fucking sat. Okay. So now you got the immigrants coming over. So now Biden says, listen, I want to do something about these people coming over here like this. I want to make it so they can become U.S. citizens. Keith Carter and Dr. Keith, I might not be able to bring y'all up here right now. Keep your thoughts and write them down on a piece of paper because I am still talking. And I don't know how long it's going to be. It's good because I got a couple more things I need to play. Listen. So at the time, Biden said, listen, we already going through our own thing. Everybody complaining about immigration. Okay, yeah, it done got out of control. Not because of us, though. Remember the history that I just told you. It's because they decided, Ronald Reagan said it was a good thing to have. Black people was telling you that they was having a hard time with the motherfucking Mexicans in L.A. Nobody listened. So Biden said, okay, listen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do an executive order. We're going to try to pass some legislation that's going to deal with the border and people trying to come in through the United States of America because we held them back for so long. Of course, when you hold a group of people back from coming across the border who was used to coming in and out this country at will, now all of a sudden they can't come in here anymore. So they're going to wait at the border until that motherfucker open up and then they're going to try to come in here. Yes, the fuck they is. So when Biden tried to do something about it, if I'm motherfucking lying, tell me about it in the goddamn chat. Biden tried to do something about the fucking border and people coming over here, but you motherfuckers would not pass a bill because you wanted something for Trump to run on. Am I lying, y'all? Am I lying? Put it in the motherfucking chat if I'm lying. Y'all refuse. It wasn't that big a deal to y'all. Y'all didn't think the immigration issue was that big a deal. Meanwhile, in between while, African Americans been telling you that it's a problem. Okay? Then let me show you this. All the while you motherfuckers sat up and didn't want us and didn't allow us to pass no motherfucking serious reforms for immigration and put more people, because even right now, the Supreme Court just told this silly motherfucker that he can't just deport all these people up out of this country without any due process. So you're going to have to beef up the same shit that Joe Biden was trying to do. Beef up the motherfucking people that you had processing immigration, the systems that you have. He tried to do that. Remember? Y'all remember? Y'all remember? Y'all remember? Yeah, the Supreme Court just told you, Trumpers, MAGA, splaga, blaga, that you can't do that without due process. Now, how the fuck are you going to deport all these people that you lied about? Talking about it's a million illegal aliens and they committing murder around this motherfucker. But you ain't been able to find all the murderers because you going out to motherfucking job sites and shit arresting people. Remember that? See, the lies are catching up. You can only lie for so long, and then eventually they're going to catch up. Yep, it's taken about 200, 300 years for it to catch up to these motherfucking envelopian translucents, but it's catching up. Because now they're about to be in a corner, because I'm about to put them in this motherfucking corner with this motherfucking live this morning. These chronological orders. Let's go. All right, so y'all remember when Biden was trying to do something about the border, but y'all didn't want it to happen. Y'all was talking that shit. We gonna leave it. Y'all didn't say it out in open, but y'all didn't want to do nothing about the border because y'all wanted something for Trump to run on. Let me remind you, while Joe Biden was in office, what had happened.
New this morning, a bus full of migrants sent by Governor Abbott now in Los Angeles. The governor says so far he has sent more than 21,000 migrants to what he calls self-declared sanctuary cities across the country. Abbott described the migrants dropped off in LA as the first group. It's unclear whether Texas plans to send more, but city and immigration officials have said they'll be ready when they arrive.
And mind you, sent them with not a bit of federal aid. Not none. Sent them all up to Chicago, had y'all hollering and shit. Y'all around here, the immigrants are taking over all my country. They're getting some money from us that I'm not getting. In the meanwhile, in between, while y'all stupid motherfuckers didn't even understand who to place blame on, because it was the Republicans who refused to pass a bill that sent these motherfucking people up to the motherfucking, what y'all call sanctuary cities, and didn't include the federal funding that came with them. Another motherfucking thing. You cannot be illegal. You cannot be an illegal person first of all, no human is illegal, but you cannot be an illegal migrant in this motherfucking country and get motherfucking assistance. I said that yesterday. Now, I'm gonna say it again. You motherfuckers run around here talking about who you have a problem with is illegal aliens because they're taking your fucking assistance. What you're talking about is legal motherfucking migrants into this motherfucking country. That's the reason why he had to go to schools and motherfucking house and goddamn schoolhouses, hospitals, and motherfucking job sites and courthouses in order to arrest them, because it's not as many illegal motherfucking migrants in this country committing murder. They lied to you. They fear-mongered. And you fucking believed them. But you didn't remember the chronological order that I just told y'all about. You didn't think about that. What you thought about to your motherfucking raggedy ass self is that the migrants are taking my money. They taking some massive money and I can't get none. But you didn't even stop to think for one motherfucking minute. You didn't even remind yourself. That's why it is extremely important to have chronological order. They talking about taking welfare from them. The real welfare queens are mad. No, listen. They're talking about taking welfare from them because they fucked up. And now they're trying to find a way to fund the billionaires. That's why. That's why. Y'all was so mad about migrants taking your motherfucking money. And now what they're going to do is cut your fucking money so they can give it to the motherfucking billionaires. All the while they did a look over here and made you think it was the immigrants, the illegal immigrants at that were taking your assistance when they can't even get assistance if they're motherfucking illegal. Those were legal migrants. They were doing it the right way. The way you claim you want them to do. You're lying. You don't give a fuck how they do it. You don't care how they come. Because if you did, you would be fucking hollering from the rooftop about Trump not usurping the fucking Supreme Court order. That's why they had to bring Garcia back. It's called due process. See, the one thing about you motherfucking envelopians and translucians that I understand is that you like the law when you agree with it. But when you don't agree with it, you don't like the law. Same thing. You motherfuckers talking about people in LA down there fighting for their motherfucking safety and their lives and shit, trying to keep their motherfucking livelihood in this motherfucking country and shit. They're fighting for their lives. Y'all ran y'all ass down to the motherfucking Capitol to fight for a fucking election that was never motherfucking stolen. Because you're spoiled brats. And then you got the nerve to be all over the news and the social media talking about the immigrants down there fighting for their motherfucking livelihood and shit. Been in this country for motherfucking years and shit. And now you motherfuckers want to go target them while they're minding their fucking motherfucking Hispanic business. While they're minding their Haitian business. Y'all want to go fuck with them people. That's because they're not illegal. But you don't give a fuck. Because that's the lie that you were told. That's the lie that you told everybody else. But now we see exactly what it is. You motherfuckers lie when it suits you. This is not new. You see, they don't never talk about the reason why they came from Europe. They never talk about that. They lied and said that Christopher Columbus got to this motherfucker and there wasn't nobody here when the next motherfucking chapter, the indigenous people had to show them how to motherfucking feed and they had a Thanksgiving to take thanks to the indigenous people that were here that they lied and said wasn't. They lied. So you motherfuckers that migrated here and African Americans, they told you to not be with African Americans, don't listen to African Americans. The reason why they told you that, the reason why they say we're the lords of the motherfucking totem pole, the reason why they say the things they say about us, because they want to disqualify us. They want you to not listen to us and make you think that we're lying when we've been telling the truth the whole time. We told y'all. But you didn't listen because your proximity, your need to have proximity to whiteness was greater. You thought you were safe. You thought you were safe because you had straight motherfucking hair, blue eyes, and light skin. But these motherfucking envelopians told you so quick exactly how the fuck they feel about you. And we tried to tell you. Because we the only motherfuckers outside the indigenous people that never asked to come to this raggedy motherfucker. We were trying to warn you. But you shoot us off. Let's hear Governor DeSantis. Let's see what he had to do. He had to say about the time when they were shipping immigrants to the sanctuary cities without the federal aid, federal funding that comes with them.
Spots. This includes Florida Governor Ron. Are Republican leaders committing a crime by sending migrants to Democratic areas? Will the DOJ launch an investigation? Criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Matt Mangino comes on to discuss. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
What Ron DeSantis is saying is, I don't want them in my party. I told y'all I don't want them in my party. But if you insist when they get here, they are your responsibility now, being that these states are sanctuary cities. And being that these states are sanctuary cities, that shouldn't be a problem. The only reason I'm giving Ron DeSantis donkey today is because he should have gave Martha's Vineyard advance notice. Okay, all of these governors from Texas, Florida, Arizona, don't just put these humans on buses and planes and ship them to sanctuary cities. Let the sanctuary cities know they are coming. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. And second, it's the same reason we want people's votes on record, so we can see who's really about that life.
This was quite the story, and I'm sure you've seen it on the news. In an effort to address the issue of immigration and the southern border, Republican leaders have engaged in this campaign of sending migrants to Democratic hotspots. This includes Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sending migrants who cross the U.S.-Mexico border to Martha's Vineyard. And then you have Texas Governor Greg Abbott sending 2 buses of migrants to the Washington, D.C. home of Vice President Kamala Harris. In fact, it is now being reported that the 50 migrants at Martha's Vineyard are being moved to a military base in order to better take care of them. And while, this political action has fueled praise and condemnation, depending upon which side of the aisle you're looking at, the real question here, the critical question, is this illegal what they're doing? California Governor Gavin Newsom says that there needs to be an actual probe here. He said, quote, "What DeSantis and Abbott are doing isn't clever. It's cruel. I'm formally requesting the DOJ begin an immediate investigation into these inhumane efforts to use kids as political pawns." He actually tweeted this. So, to make sense of this, let me bring in criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Matt Mangino. Matt, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming on Sidebar.
That's all you need to hear, because I'm refreshing your memory about how you African Americans up in Chicago and wherever else start hollering out about what's going on. But instead of placing blame where blame is due, you placed it on the head of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because you had no idea that it was the Republican Party who motherfucking cheered and pushed on immigration in this country. They loved it. They loved it. They didn't have anything to say when those immigrants were working for them for fucking free, or not for free, for little low wages. When they were fucking getting immigrants to pick stuff, the fruits and shit for little or nothing. It didn't become a problem until they started building things faster than your mediocre ass could. It didn't become a problem until you start seeing more of them in the grocery store than you've seen of yourselves. Then you want to snoot your motherfucking nose down at motherfucking immigrants. When you're an immigrant to this country, your own fucking self. Remember where we started. 20 million Europeans immigrated from the years 1880 to 1914 because of poor conditions in Europe. You are fucking got the caucasity to have an attitude with motherfuckers coming over here for the same reason you motherfuckers came over here. Remember, we were in Africa. We didn't need a motherfucking thing. We didn't ask to come to this raggedy motherfucker. Okay? So, we remember that. Remember that? So now, that leads us up to today. So let me show y'all something.
Refuse to address the problem.
Let me show y'all something real quick. No, matter of fact, it's before today. Let me remind you, that's why I have this picture up right now. You see in 2020 how Latino men voted for Biden? And what? What is that number here? 36% voted for Trump. And then come 2024, 44% of y'all voted for Harris. 54% of y'all voted for Trump. That is a 20 plus motherfucking percentage swing. Remember that? Remember that slap in the face that you gave to African Americans in this country that have been trying to tell y'all? Remember that? Y'all, you don't remember that shit, do you? No, you don't remember that. You know, you remember this? Let me put this up here again real quick. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember the days of this? Remember this? When we was out in the motherfucking street fighting for civil rights? Remember getting bit by dogs and sprayed by water hoses and shit? You motherfuckers wasn't nowhere to be found. Matter of fact, this is what y'all motherfucking ass said during that time. Let me show you. Let me show you again. This is what y'all said. That's what y'all said. Yeah. And then you have the nerve. You have the nerve to be around these social media sites hollering and screaming about how black people aren't helping. Remember, they're going to come after you next. Remember that? Remember? No, y'all, that's what y'all saying right now, huh? They're going to come after y'all next. Oh, okay. Okay, but I want you motherfuckers to remember, while y'all talking about how they gonna come after African Americans, remember, we didn't ask to come to this raggedy motherfucker. You motherfuckers did. You knocked on the door and you pounded and you asked to come here. And when you got your ass here, we tried to tell your motherfucking asses. But you didn't want to listen. Hold on just a second. Then, what y'all turned around and did was now that you got these ICE agents running out here causing a muck, because now you got a quota that you need to fill. Now you got to show the world that you really are about that motherfucking life. Now that your motherfucking asses don't want the immigrants into the country. Now you want to run out to the people's schools, businesses, work sites, and everything else. Because remember what I told you. They lied and said that there were millions of illegal immigrants in this country, just like they lied and said that there was nobody here when Christopher Columbus got here. That was a lie. Now they're having to they got to do something to show y'all that there's millions of illegal aliens. They got to show y'all something, y'all. They got to show y'all mass arrests. But you know what? It's mighty motherfucking funny. Let me play this young lady one more time so y'all can hear what she had to say. Hopefully I saved it. Because y'all forget. Y'all talking about people coming out here, running out here, doing this, doing that. I ain't got to play it because it was short. I didn't even save it. But what the young lady said is, y'all Latinos, y'all thought that it was African Americans. Y'all talked about us. Y'all snooted down us. Me no black, bro. No, we no black. Me Dominican. You make sure you separate your motherfucking self from us. But in this time, when they're going after motherfuckers, thank you so much for the VIP subscription, Mr. Hubbard. I appreciate you. This time, right now, when they're going after the brown people, the Latino people, you guys are starting to realize that they're only going after you. You're starting to fucking realize that they're not going after any Europeans. They're going after you. Do you think you're the only one who's overstayed your visa or migrated to this country or came here illegally, let them tell it, or came seeking asylum or what have you? Do you think that you're the only motherfucking ones? But no, you're not. But it would look, but let me tell you something. The news and the Trump administration and the Republicans, the NAGAs, the blaggers and the MAGAs, the splaggers will make you motherfuckers think that. No, it is white tea people from Europe that have overstayed their welcome. But you don't see them getting arrested. You don't see them putting their motherfucking mugshots on the motherfucking lawn of the White House. No, you do not. You don't see it. I'm going to go back one time. I'm going to back up one more time. And I remember, I'm going to say this. When we told you guys, when we had the opportunity to fix this shit, when 92% of black women told you that this administration would be harmful to not just black people, but to all minorities, you did the same thing you did back in the day when that gentleman went to the motherfucking Congress and said that we are having a problem with migrants right now. You did the same thing that when we tried to tell you motherfuckers that these white tea people are two-faced and they'll turn on you faster than you know while you snorting your nose down at black people, you did not believe us. Both you motherfuckers shoot us off. Motherfucking immigrants, the motherfucking envelopians, the translucents, and you motherfucking immigrants. Y'all shoot us off. Immigrants of every single color. Y'all motherfuckers listen to the motherfucking stereotypes and you came over here and you treated us like shit. All because you believe what the white man told you because he didn't want you to know the truth that we were trying to tell you. You shoot your motherfucking face and you look down at us, look down on us like we were some type of fucking garbage when all the fucking while we were fucking right. Oh no, KB. Oh no, KB. Oh, you don't worry about it. I'm already all over that. I showed the graph about how they turned their ass around while they want to say we sisters and brothers, we people of color. POC, remember we was using POC? And then as soon as when you motherfuckers had the opportunity, you took your ass down there and you voted in the wrong direction. And now you want us to feel sorry for you. Hold on just a second. Let me get something else. Hold on. I think I need to play this page that we're on. You see my new page that we're on. You see my new logo? It says, we don't need you. We didn't need you in the time of slavery because we were in Africa minding our motherfucking business. We don't need you now, and we ain't gonna need you in the motherfucking future. You know why? Because we didn't ask to come into this motherfucking raggedy ass motherfucker, and we got it out the motherfucking mud. We didn't ask massa for a goddamn thing. Everything that we got, we had to motherfucking fight for. We don't need you. You motherfuckers tried to trip us up at every motherfucking angle. And now that we are successful, now that we motherfucking got some motion in this country, now because you guys feed off of our culture, our food, our music, our motherfucking rap, our style, our look, you motherfuckers need our help now in these motherfucking streets. But guess what? Let me let my brother tell you better than I can.
You knew good want Hispanic voters to do this for me. Google this. Joe Biden's percentage with Hispanic voters in 2020 versus Kamala Harris' percentage with Hispanic voters in 2024. And you will see exactly what I'm talking about. I grew up in a small town called Barrett Station, Texas, about 20 minutes outside of Houston. I grew up with a bunch of Hispanic people. And for every 5 Hispanics that were legal, there were at least 2 in their family that were illegal. Hispanic men broke for Trump this last time around. They voted for him far more than they did back in 2020 with Joe Biden. Folks, that is a fact. You're not about to get angry at me and black voters for calling y'all out. You knew good and god darn well that your uncle, your father, was probably about to go vote for Donald Trump and probably said nothing. Don't get mad at black voters because we're now saying we ain't got time for this no more. The biggest amount of protesting we could have ever done was cast our vote for Kamala Harris. Telling you guys, don't make this same mistake again and put Donald Trump back in this White House. Donald Trump has been wanting to get rid of Hispanics in this country since he first ran back in 2016. He wanted to build a wall and have y'all pay for it. Now he just wants y'all gone entirely. So don't patronize us and act as if we're talking nonsense. It's the truth. Just go Google that. Do all of yourselves a favor. Since you don't believe what I'm saying, go look it up for yourselves. It's not just your Cubans. It's not just people in Florida and Texas. It's people all across this country, Hispanic people who voted for Donald Trump in your battleground states. Y'all outnumber black people far more. Y'all made the difference. Live with it.
And he said what the fuck he said. Now, let's go to this. Let's go to this. So now we're catching up. We're almost where we're at right now, right? So we remember that what had happened was Trump tried to play the role, right? Like he called Gavin Newsom when the motherfucking people, when they came out there fucking with them people, right? In LA, started going to went to Home Depot, fucking with them people. Didn't include the law enforcement. Let me tell y'all something about California. California ain't no punk when it comes to law enforcement. You got them fucked all the way up. They got them draconian laws when it comes to the pew-pews. You can't have no pew-pew on your motherfucking hip in California. And if you got to conceal, you better have that motherfucking paperwork. You better have the motherfucking pew-pew and the goddamn ammunition in 2 different areas. They don't allow that shit. That ain't the Wild Wild West in California. You ain't never been to California. You do not understand that the motherfucking police in California do not play that shit. Remember, those are the motherfuckers that did what they did to Rodney King. Stop playing with them. Stop playing on California top like they ain't got it. They got it. But Trump was thirsty for a conflict. He was thirsty for one. He was so thirsty for one that he sat his rabbit ass up there and he lied. What he lied, hold on. Biden said was that he called Gavin Newsom. Let me put it up here. He said, he lied and said he called Gavin Newsom the day before the shit jumped off. This is the proof that he gave to say that he called Gavin Newsom. Today is the 11th. Yesterday was the 10th. The day before that was the 9th. The day before the shit started was the 8th. The date on this motherfucking screenshot is June 7th. He fucking lied in y'all fucking faces. He never even called the man. He just started sending motherfuckers out there, escalating an already motherfucking inflammable situation. Already got people pissed off. You should have left these people alone. You run around this motherfucking country fucking with these people because you're thirsty. You're thirsty for some motherfucking conflict because you want to give some red meat to your motherfucking base so they can go out there and play motherfucking ICE agents and go arrest these people with masks on their face, no motherfucking warrants, and no nothing. Because you lied to the people and said that there were millions of illegal immigrants committing heinous crimes like murder, and you can't find them. You had to go to the work sites to find them. You had to go to people's schools to find them. You had to go to the courthouse to find them. If you had to go to those places to find them, they were not illegal. You motherfucking simpletons. You believe everything that the motherfucking Republicans say because you don't understand what had happened. You don't understand chronological order. But let me go ahead on and play this motherfucking video for y'all. Let me play it for you. Let me play this video.
Without consulting
Because listen to me. Listen to me. When I say what I say to you, Gavin Newsom is not a motherfucking angel in this soul situation either. He's not. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm hanging my hat on Gavin Newsom as the motherfucking black people's savior. Again, this is chronological order. Some things you may agree with what I said and some things you may not agree with. But what you cannot look past is that this is absolute chronological order. Let's listen to what Gavin has to say about what had happened here.
I want to say a few words about the events of the last few days. This past weekend, federal agents conducted large-scale workplace raids in and around Los Angeles. Those raids continue as I speak. California is no stranger to immigration enforcement, but instead of focusing on undocumented immigrants with serious criminal records and people with final deportation orders, a strategy both parties have long supported, this administration is pushing mass deportations, indiscriminately targeting hardworking immigrant families, regardless of their roots or risk. What's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before. On Saturday morning, when federal agents jumped out of an unmarked van near a Home Depot parking lot, they began grabbing people. A deliberate targeting.
Hold on just a second. Let me answer this question. Somebody said, what has Gavin Newsom done? Understand what I'm saying to you. I am a Californian. I have lived under California rules. I left California because I feel like they're squeezing out people to be able to afford affordable rent and mortgage. And I feel like Gavin Newsom didn't do enough to do that. I seen Gavin Newsom when the Supreme Court passed that bill that homeless people couldn't be on the streets and encampments. I watched him go out there and throw out them shanty towns, and he did not reject or oppose the ruling. He didn't try to say anything about it because he liked it. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Nobody is innocent in this situation. I'm not going to say that black people are innocent, African Americans are innocent, but I think that it's only two people in this whole entire scenario that you can't place blame on, and that is African Americans, because we didn't ask to come to this raggedy motherfucker, and indigenous people. All the rest of you motherfuckers played a motherfucking part in upholding this white tea motherfucking supremacy in one way or a motherfucking another. African Americans got in a system that they were forced in, and they did the best that they fucking could out of a bad situation. So that's why I say Gavin Newsom doesn't have clean hands in all of this either, because I'm talking about the bigger picture, the macro picture of white supremacy as a whole. Okay? All right.
Of a heavily Latino suburb. A similar scene played out when a clothing company was raided downtown. In other actions, a U.S. citizen, 9 months pregnant, was arrested. A 4-year-old girl taken. Families separated. Friends quite literally disappearing. In response, everyday Angelenos came out to exercise their constitutional right to free speech and assembly, to protest their government's actions. In turn, the state of California and the city and county of Los Angeles sent our police officers to help keep the peace. And with some exceptions, they were successful. Like many states, California is no stranger to this sort of unrest. We manage it regularly and with our own law enforcement. But this, again, was different. What then ensued was the use of tear gas, flashbang grenades, rubber bullets, federal agents detaining people and undermining their due process rights. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets, illegally and for no reason. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk. That's when the downward spiral began. He doubled down on his dangerous National Guard deployment by fanning the flames even harder. And the president, he did it on purpose. As the news spread throughout LA, anxiety for family and friends ramped up. Protests started again. By night, several dozen lawbreakers became violent and destructive. They vandalized property. They tried to assault police officers. Many of you have seen the video clips of cars burning on cable news. If you incite violence, I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account. That kind of criminal behavior will not be tolerated. Full stop. Already more than 220 people have been arrested, and we're reviewing tapes to build additional cases, and people will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Again, thanks to our law enforcement officers and the majority of Angelenos who protested peacefully, the situation was winding down and was concentrated in just a few square blocks downtown. But that's not what Donald Trump wanted. He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000 Guard members. He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines. These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement. We honor their service. We honor their bravery. But we do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces. Not in LA, not in California, not anywhere. We're seeing unmarked cars in school parking lots, kids afraid of attending their own graduation. Trump is pulling a military dragnet all across Los Angeles, well beyond his stated intent to just go after violent and serious criminals. His agents are arresting dishwashers, gardeners, day laborers, and seamstresses. That's just weakness masquerading as strength. Donald Trump's government isn't protecting our communities. They're traumatizing our communities. And that seems to be the entire point. California will keep fighting. We'll keep fighting on behalf of our people, all of our people, including in the courts. Just yesterday, we filed a legal challenge to Donald Trump's reckless deployment of American troops to a major American city. Today, we sought an emergency court order to stop the use of the American military to engage in law enforcement activities across Los Angeles. If some of us could be snatched off the streets without a warrant, based only on suspicion or skin color, then none of us are safe. Authoritarian regimes begin by targeting people who are least able to defend themselves, but they do not stop there. Trump and his loyalists, they thrive on division because it allows them to take more power and exert even more control. And by the way, Trump, he's not opposed to lawlessness and violence as long as it serves him. What more evidence do we need than January 6th? Ask everyone. Take time, reflect on this perilous moment. A president who wants to be bound by no law or constitution, perpetuating a unified assault on American traditions. This is a president who in just over 140 days has fired government watchdogs that could hold him accountable for corruption and fraud. He's declared a war on culture, on history, on science, on knowledge itself. Databases, quite literally, are vanishing. He's delegitimizing news organizations, and he's assaulting the First Amendment. And the threat of defunding them, at threat, he's dictating what universities themselves can teach. He's targeting law firms and the judicial branch that are the foundations of an orderly and civil society. He's calling for a sitting governor to be arrested for no other reason than to, in his own words, for getting elected. And we all know this Saturday, he's ordering our American heroes, the United States military, and forcing them to put on a vulgar display to celebrate his birthday, just as other failed dictators have done in the past. Look, this isn't just about protests here in Los Angeles. When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation. This is about all of us. This is about you. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived. He's taking a wrecking ball to our founding fathers' historic project. 3 co-equal branches of independent government. There are no longer any checks and balances. Congress is nowhere to be found. Speaker Johnson has completely abdicated that responsibility. The rule of law has increasingly been given way to the rule of Don. The founding fathers, they didn't live and die to see this kind of moment. It's time for all of us to stand up. Justice Brandeis, you said it best. In a democracy, the most important office, with all due respect, Mr. President, is not the presidency, and it's certainly not governor. The most important office is office of citizen. At this moment, we all need to stand up and be held to account, a higher level of accountability. If you exercise your First Amendment rights, please do it peacefully. I know many of you are feeling deep anxiety, stress, and fear. But I want you to know that you are the antidote to that fear and that anxiety. What Donald Trump wants most is your fealty, your silence to be complicit in this moment. Do not give in to him.
Place blame where blame is due is what the fuck you do. Stop out here arguing and hollering and acting like it's us. It is the black community. It is the Democrats who put these motherfucking immigrants upon you. It is not. We didn't ask to come to this raggedy motherfucker. It's the Republicans that champion this. It's the motherfucking Europeans that took advantage of this back in the 80s to 1914. The motherfucking, you motherfuckers, you guys, you say Democrats and you say black people all in the same motherfucking breath, except when it comes to motherfucking immigration. Then you want to motherfucking blame every motherfucking body else except for your fucking self. The Democrats ain't did shit. If you equate Democrats to black people, black women specifically, we didn't do a goddamn thing. We tried to tell y'all long time motherfucking ago. You seen this motherfucking, all this information that I gave you. You seen the video of Ronald Reagan talking about they're the best thing ever since sliced bread. Bring them the fuck over here. You seen the motherfucking other people talking about taking the motherfucking immigrants and sending them up to sanctuary states. The Democrats didn't do that shit. We tried to fucking fix it, and you motherfucking Republicans didn't even want to pass the fucking bill because you wanted Trump to have something to run on. Fuck y'all and y'all hypocrisy. Let me play this. Let me play this last video. And I'll get the fuck up out of here. Because I'm starting to motherfucking get mad. I'm starting to get mad now. Because I can't stand liars. I can't stand people that sit up and lie. Y'all know I'm about to end this live in a little while. We're going to go over to Zeus's live, but please go ahead and continue to go ahead and do that gift and go. Remember that my another way to support me is through my bio. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Send that straight up if you want to. If you want to support my platform, if you want to support and show me that you appreciated this live, because this was a very educational live. I broke it motherfucking down to y'all like Barney style. You're not going to get this information broke down to you nowhere else like I just did. Because if they break this motherfucking shit down, every motherfucking body will understand exactly what happened here. Wake the fuck up. Understand history. The reason why they're able to do what they do and pull the wool over your eyes is because you are not educating yourself. You are allowing them to educate you, and they lie. They will lie. They will lie to fit their needs. They will lie to fit their narrative. They will lie when they don't like something that they liked last week. They will lie. The hypocrisy is deafening at this point. They lie. African Americans have nothing to lie for. We don't have a bone in this motherfucking fight. We didn't ask to come to this raggedy motherfucker. All you motherfuckers asked to come to this raggedy motherfucker. Us and goddamn indigenous people didn't ask to come to this motherfucking raggedy ass motherfucking country that you call the United States of motherfucking America. And now you want to blame us for you motherfuckers allowing motherfuckers to come over here and seek freedom and safety and motherfucking well-being because you destabilized their motherfucking country, and now y'all want us to come out there and fight with y'all when y'all motherfuckers snitch y'all nose down at us and said we were fucking lying? Fuck all y'all. I said fuck y'all. We tired. We fix to mind our own business. But let me play this video for you real quick.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me just, I just want to be clear about this. Imagine that Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. You're laughing, but no, this is what's happening. Imagine if I'd said to law firms that were representing parties that were upset with policies my administration had initiated, that you will not be allowed into government buildings. We will punish you economically for dissenting from the Affordable Care Act or the Iran deal. We will ferret out students who protest against my policies. It's unimaginable that the same parties that are silent now would have tolerated behavior like that from me, or a whole bunch of my predecessors. So, and I say this not on a partisan basis. This has to do with something more precious, which is, who are we as a country and what values do we stand for?
Who
Testimony
are we?
of the witnesses. Thank you.
Who are we as a country? And what do we stand for? That's what you guys got to start asking yourselves. I know what the fuck I stand for. I know. I have had to do a lot of soul searching. A lot of soul searching lately. I have. I would not lie to you. I've had to do a lot of soul searching. I've had to understand. I had to understand my allegiance to the United States of America. Nope. I had to figure out to myself, was I still going to call myself African American after I see all this shit that's happening? Nutty came up here and he said he calls himself a black American. I said I call myself an African American. I had to really rethink those comments that day. After seeing everything that we have seen so far in its totality. And the conclusion that I've come to is we did not ask to come to this raggedy motherfucker. We fought for as long as we could possibly fight. We even shut the fuck up for a period of time. We didn't talk about racism. We even went and got degrees, educated ourselves so that we can be better paid. We even came over to the Democrat Party and we commandeered that bitch. Just for them to take Joe Biden, which, you know what? He might have had racist ways. He may have been born inherently racist. But he fucking did the work. And he is a fucking good man. That was the first disrespect that they did. Because Trump never won against a man. They knew it. They dehumanized Joe Biden because they knew that Joe Biden was working for the fucking people. So they had to talk about that man. Remember, I told you, he didn't have to come back to this motherfucker. He had retired. He had a beautiful career. He had already lost his children. He had motherfucking been the vice president. He had motherfucking been the goddamn in the house for years. He came back to this raggedy motherfucker to serve and lead us, to get us out of a fucked up downturn that we were fucking in. Joe Biden is a good ass motherfucking man. And then they did him the way they did him per the media, and then put Kamala Harris in. She's a good motherfucking person. This woman is she 60 years old, and she's only had 3 motherfucking partners in her life. And now mean y'all can't find another one. Y'all, she didn't work in all 3 branches of the government. God damn it, yes she did. She worked in the judicial branch, and the motherfucking AG might not be the Supreme Court, but it's an arm of the judicial fucking branch. She was a vice president of the United States of America, and she was a fucking senator. She was overqualified. And then y'all motherfuckers looked us in the motherfucking face and you fucking slapped us again. You came in our lives. You said we have your back. We want to be your ally. We understand what happened. It is so disgusting. We cannot stand Trump. He is a hazard to the country. Oh my God, let's clutch our fucking pearls. And you took your motherfucking phenotypically motherfucking presenting envelopian ass down there and pressed that motherfucking button for Donald Trump. Well, you motherfucking broke it, bitch. You fucking fix it. Our shift was up in November, and I think it's high time that we go head on and start representing Africa. Because what did chat, GTP, PTP, whatever the fuck it's called, tell you? If we leave this motherfucker and go back to Africa, the United States will be in a world of motherfucking trouble. Chat, TPT, whatever the fuck the motherfucker is called, it said that this motherfucker will have an economic downturn if we left. You motherfuckers keep on threatening us to make they're gonna deport us next. No, the fuck they won't, but don't threaten me with a motherfucking good time, because to deport us would mean that they would have to admit that they did us wrong and then run me my money and go negotiate my dual citizen motherfucking shit so I can go over there and live in Burkina Faso and mind my motherfucking business. Because we don't need you. You need us, and you need to start acting like it, because if you don't,
CNN, BBC, France, 24. I'm watching you all. I'm recording every lie. I'm archiving every distortion. I am Ibrahim Traore, and today I'm pulling off your masks. Yes, you heard correctly. I, whom you call a young military junta leader, whom you brand as a dangerous radical, whom you serve up as an anti-Western dictator, am now telling you the truth. And this time you cannot turn off your microphones. This time you cannot turn away your cameras. This time your editors cannot cut this speech. Because the world you monopolize no longer exists. Because millions will hear these words now, without passing through your filters, without being subjected to your distortions, without being muddied by your lies. I am 34 years old. Every day of my life, I grew up with your lies. As a child, I would watch Africa on television. Always the same images. Children with flies, dry lands, weapons, death. This is Africa, they told us. This is what Africa is. And we believed it. We were ashamed of ourselves. We were ashamed of our own lands, of our own people. But then I grew up. I read, I researched, I questioned, and I understood that the Africa you showed us wasn't real. The story you told us was a lie. The fate you imposed on us was a script you had written. For years, how have you portrayed Africa? How have you shown it? How have you sold it to your viewers? As if we were creatures who had no share of humanity. As if we were savages left outside of civilization. As if we were wretches waiting for you to save us. Every day, every hour, every minute, the same story plays on your screens. Hunger, war, disease, corruption, terror, chaos. These are the words that come to mind when Africa is mentioned. In your Africa dictionary, there are no other words. No hope, no success, no development, no resistance, no honor, no pride, no victory. So I ask you, New York Times, Washington Post, Guardian, Le Monde, have you ever made Africa's successes your headlines? How many times have you written about Rwanda's technology miracle? How many times have you shown Ethiopia's reforestation project? How many times have you praised Botswana's democratic success? How many times have you described Kenya's entrepreneurial ecosystem? No, because these don't fit your scenario. Your Africa cannot be successful. It cannot, because then how will you legitimize your exploitation? If it's not in need of help, how will you intervene? If it's not backward, how will you look down on it? Have you ever asked yourselves, has any editor sitting at their desk, any news director in a meeting, any columnist at their keyboard ever thought, why are the people of the world's richest lands poor? Here are the numbers for you, real numbers. Africa owns 70% of the world's cobalt reserves. Your cell phone, your computer, your electric car won't work without cobalt. This cobalt comes from Congo, but Congolese can't afford cell phones. Africa owns 90% of the world's platinum reserves. Catalytic converters, electronic devices, medical implants, they all need platinum. This platinum comes from South Africa, but South Africans are crushed by unemployment. Africa provides 30% of the world's gold production. Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Tanzania. Gold flows like rivers from our lands, but our people swim in poverty. Africa supplies 65% of the world's diamond production. Botswana, Angola, Congo, Sierra Leone, billions of dollars worth of diamonds are extracted, but our miners live on $1 a day. Africa owns 35% of the world's uranium reserves. Niger, Namibia, South Africa. Nuclear plants run on our uranium. Paris lights burn with our uranium, but our villages have no electricity. And you still ask, why is Africa poor? No, the right question is, how was Africa kept poor while being so rich? Here's your answer. Colonialism didn't end. It changed shape. You used to come and occupy our lands. Now you come and establish companies. You used to take by force. Now you make agreements. You used to rule with the whip. Now you rule with credit. Let me give you concrete examples. With numbers, names, dates, but you'll never write about these. Glencore, Swiss-based mining giant, extracting cobalt in Congo. 2022 revenue, $256 billion. A tax paid to Congo, $500 million. That's 0.2%. Is this justice? Rio Tinto, British-Australian mining giant, extracting bauxite in Guinea. 20 million tons annually. What's left for Guinea? Environmental pollution and cancer. Total, now Total Energies, French oil giant, extracting oil in Angola, Nigeria, Congo. 2022, profit, $36 billion investment in Africa, dirty pipelines, Anglo-American, founded in South Africa but now in London. Diamonds, platinum, iron, taking everything. What it left in South Africa, 6 million unemployed miners. And these are just the tip of the iceberg. What about the invisible, the secret deals, the offshore accounts, the transfer pricing tricks? Every year, $88 billion in illegal money flows out of Africa. Who writes about this? Every year, $45 billion in aid comes to Africa. Everyone writes about this, but no one says Africa is not the continent receiving aid, it's the continent giving aid. While you zoom your cameras on swollen bellies, there is a huge system working silently in the background. Every day, tons of gold, diamonds, cobalt, uranium, oil leave our land. But how? Here is the system. Step 1, create corruption, bribe our leaders, open offshore accounts, promise them a life of luxury, send their children to your schools. Step 2, make deals, get 50-year, 99-year concessions, ask for tax exemptions, be exempt from environmental rules, ignore labor rights. Step 3, control the infrastructure. Take over ports, airports, railways, but only from the mine to the harbor. Don't build roads to the villages. Don't bring electricity to schools. Step 4, provide security. Set up private security companies. Arm them. Declare protesting. Step 5, silence the media. Buy local journalists. Suppress opposing voices. Serve internal unrest news to international media. And this is how the system works. It's been working like this for 100 years, and you don't see this system. You don't want to see it, because you're part of the system too. Who are the biggest advertisers of New York Times, CNN, BBC, oil companies, mining companies, arms companies, pharmaceutical cartels, the companies that exploit Africa? You live on their money, you defend their interests, and what I'm about to tell you might cost me my life, but it's no longer time to be silent. France's system in Africa is the CFA franc. 14 African countries still use French colonial currency. 50% of these countries' central bank reserves sit in the French treasury. France applies negative interest to this money, so we pay France to use our own money. Through this system, France transfers $500 billion worth of resources from Africa every year. Does anyone write about this? No. But when France gives Africa 10 billion euros in aid, it makes headlines. Britain's system is more sophisticated. London is the world's money laundering center. City of London, offshore paradise. Every penny stolen from Africa passes through London. Jersey, Guernsey, Cayman Islands, Virgin Islands, all under British control. Africa's wealth hides there. America's system is AFRICOM, Africa Command, 46 military bases on the continent. Official purpose, security. Real purpose, resource control. Drones in our airspace every day, listening devices everywhere. They say fighting terrorism, but it's not terrorists, it's people's leaders who are targeted. China is the new player, says win-win. Builds infrastructure, gives credit, but in exchange for what? 99-year port concessions, mining rights, agricultural lands, debt-trap diplomacy, ask Sri Lanka, ask Zambia, and you write about none of this. Why? Because you're not free press. You're corporate press. Your bosses are billionaires. Jeff Bezos bought Washington Post. Why? For love of journalism? Rupert Murdoch's media empire, Fox News, Wall Street Journal, The Sun, The Times, all from the same hand, all giving the same message. West is good, others are bad. Carlos Slim is the largest shareholder of New York Times, Mexican billionaire. Where's his wealth from? Monopolized telecommunications, got rich off Latin America's back, now controls America's most respected newspaper. And you claim to do independent journalism? Who are your editors? Which schools did they graduate from? Harvard, Yale, Oxford, Cambridge? Always the same elite schools, always the same worldview, always the same prejudices. How are your reporters selected? How many languages does your Africa correspondent speak? French, English, that's all. Swahili, Hausa, Yoruba, Amharic, they don't know. They can't talk to the people. Your sources are always the same. Western diplomats, NGOs, experts, and then you come and lecture us. They killed Patrice Lumumba, January 12th, 1961. CIA agent Larry Devlin confessed. Belgian mercenaries executed. They dissolved his body in acid, took his teeth as souvenirs. In 2022, that tooth was returned from Belgium to his family after 61 years. And what did you say then? Chaos in Congo. You didn't ask about the killers. You didn't investigate CIA documents. You didn't write about Belgium's crime. They killed Thomas Sankara, October 15th, 1987. My hero, Africa's hope. Vaccinated 2.5 million children against measles and meningitis. Planted 10 million trees, raised literacy rate from 13% to 73%, gave equal rights to women, banned FGM, ended corruption, sold Mercedes cars, used Renault 5, rejected IMF and World Bank. And most importantly, he said, we will not pay Africa's debts. We didn't make those debts. The puppets before us made them on behalf of colonizers. That's when he had to be killed, and they killed him. Who killed him? His best friend, Blaise Compaoré, with whose support? France. Want proof? Look at the Focard archives. Jacques Focard, France's Africa Affairs advisor. Everything is written there. And what did you say? Military coup in Burkina Faso. You didn't write about Sankara's dreams. You didn't tell about his projects. You didn't show his successes. You just said, another dictator died, Muammar Gaddafi. Yes, he was a dictator. Yes, he was ruthless. But what had he done in Libya? Per capita income $12,000, Africa's highest, literacy rate from 25% to 87%, life expectancy from 51 to 74, free healthcare, free education, $50,000 for newlyweds, interest-free loans for homebuyers, $5,000 for new births, gasoline 14 cents per liter, great man-made river, irrigation project to green the desert, and Gaddafi's real crime, dream of United States of Africa, African Central Bank project, African Investment Bank, African Monetary Fund, and most dangerous, gold dinar, refusing to sell oil for dollars. October 20th, 2011, lynched in Sirte, Hillary Clinton laughed. We came, we saw, he died. Now look at Libya. 3 different governments, endless civil war, ISIS, Al-Qaeda running wild slave markets exist. Even CNN showed in 2017, oil being looted, weapons depots emptied, spread across Sahel. Do you call this democracy? Do you call this freedom? Do you call this success? And whose turn is it now? The Sahel, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. You want to make us Libya too. You want to make us Syria. You want to make us Iraq. But not this time, because we've awakened, because we've learned, because we've united. Operation Barkhane, France's Sahel Adventure, 2013-2022. Official purpose, fighting terrorism. Real purpose, resource control, 5 through 100 French soldiers, €1 billion annual budget. What's the result? 2013, 500 terrorists in Mali. 2022, 5,000 plus terrorists in Sahel, tenfold increase. What kind of success is this? But what were French soldiers doing? Protecting Niger's uranium mines for Areva, Orano, securing oil pipelines for total controlling ports and railways for Bolloré, and fighting terrorism? No, the opposite. Terrorists couldn't come within 50 kilometers of French soldiers, but they could easily burn our villages. Why? Because chaos served their purposes. If there's chaos, they could stay for security reasons. MINUSMA, UN peacekeeping force. In Mali, 15,000 soldiers, 1.2 billion annual budget. 10 years, result, 300 plus. UN soldiers died. Thousands of civilians died. Terror didn't decrease, it increased. And now you say Wagner is dangerous. Russians are taking over Africa. Wagner came, 1,000 soldiers. What happened in 6 months? Terrorists fled, villages are safe, mines are working, people are at peace. What's the difference? Wagner is an ally we invited. France is an occupier who came by force. Wagner follows the agreement. France blackmails, Wagner brings results. France produces excuses, but you don't write the truth. You say Russian mercenaries. Well, what is French Légion étrangère? Aren't they mercenaries? What is American Blackwater Academy? What is British G4S? What is Israeli Black Cube? They are security companies. Wagner is a threat. Why? Because Wagner isn't yours. And the terrorism issue? Who created this terror? Who founded Al-Qaeda? 1980s, Afghanistan, CIA, Pakistan ISI, Saudi money, against Soviets. Bin Laden was CIA's man. You called them freedom fighters. Who supported Taliban? Again, you. Heroic mujahideen against Soviet occupation. You gave weapons, gave money, gave training, then you lost control. How was ISIS born? 2003, Iraq invasion. You toppled Saddam. You disbanded the army. You banned Ba'ath Party. You tortured in Abu Ghraib, and those people became ISIS. Then Syria. You said Assad must go. You said moderate rebels. You gave weapons. Those weapons went to ISIS, went to al-Nusra. You destroyed Libya. Who looted Gaddafi's weapon depots? Where did those weapons go? To Mali, to Niger, to Burkina Faso, to Nigeria, to Chad. Who strengthened Boko Haram? In 2009, Nigerian police killed their leader Mohammed Yusuf. Extrajudicial execution. What did you say? Nothing. Where were your human rights organizations? Silent. Then revenge started. Boko Haram radicalized. But where did they find weapons? From Libya, that you destroyed. And now you come to lecture us about fighting terrorism. You're helping us clean up the monsters you created? No, we've seen the game now. Terror is your Trojan horse. You come with the excuse of terror, you stay, you exploit. But it's over now. We'll provide our own security, we'll fight with our own methods, and we'll win. Because we are the children of this land. We know this land, we know these people. We can distinguish terrorist from villager. We don't fight from drones, from satellites, from 10,000 kilometers away like you. And we're winning. In Mali, in Niger, in Burkina Faso, terror is ending. Villages are safe. People are hopeful. Because now our own army, our own police...
I'm not bringing anyone up right now because I'm going to end the live almost as soon as he goes off. I'm going to play something else with you. I'm not going to tell you, but that's what I'm going to do. But we're going to talk about all of this tomorrow because I want you guys to sit on this.
...are fighting, not for foreigners, but for... the people, but you can't digest this. You say democratic backsliding. You say human rights violations. Which democracy? Which human rights? How many people are detained without trial in Guantanamo? What happened in Abu Ghraib? Who did you kill in Bagram? Who did you torture in CIA's black sites? Why is Julian Assange in prison for exposing your war crimes? Why did Chelsea Manning spend years in prison for leaking the truth? Why is Edward Snowden a fugitive for revealing you spy on everyone? And you lecture us about human rights. How many civilians died in your drone strikes? You say collateral damage and move on. How many weddings did you strike in Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia? How many schools did you bomb? How many hospitals did you burn? And you teach us the laws of war? Look, I come from war. I know the front. I've seen death. I've carried wounded soldiers. I've consoled mothers of martyrs. And I tell you, a real soldier protects his people. A real soldier doesn't harm civilians. A real soldier fights with honor. Your mercenaries, your drone pilots, your special forces, they're not soldiers. They're killers. They kill people by pressing buttons from 10,000 kilometers away, then go home and play with their children. We don't fight like that. We look our enemy in the face. We protect civilians. We fight with our honor. We die with our honor. And we'll win. Because the righteous win. Because those who fight with their people win. Because those who fight for their land win. Let's return to your media. I know how you work. I have friends who work within the system. There are journalists with conscience, but they stay silent. Why? Because the system silences them. Those who write the truth get fired. Investigative journalists are laid off due to budget cuts. Dissenting columnists are shown the door because reader interest has declined. And what replaces them? Experts from think tanks, NGOs, universities, all saying the same thing, all defending the same thesis. West is good, Africa is bad. So who are these experts? Where do they get their funding? National Endowment for Democracy, NED, American Democracy Exporter, CIA's legal arm, has fingers everywhere, funds opposition, directs media, creates civil society. Open Society Foundations, George Soros's organization, says open society, but open for whom? Open to what? Open to exploitation, open to intervention, open to manipulation. Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, all in Africa, doing aid. But what do they get in return? Control, data, influence. And your media is their trumpet. You headline Gates is saving Africa, but you don't say how many African children were paralyzed by Gates's vaccine trials. How many farmers committed suicide because of Monsanto seeds? You're masters at storytelling, but always the same story. White savior. Remember Live Aid? 1985. We Are the World. Charity concert for Africa. Millions raised. What came to Africa? Corruption increased. Dependency increased. But it was a great story for you. Bob Geldof became a hero. Musicians looked conscientious. Viewers felt good about themselves. Africa remained hungry. Remember Kony 2012? Viral video. Stop Joseph Kony. 100 million views. Result? Kony is still free, but the video maker got rich. Invisible Children organization collected millions. What came to Uganda? American soldiers. And you present these as success stories. Angelina Jolie, Madonna, Bono, all Africa volunteers. They come, take photos, adopt children, leave. And you say, interest in Africa increased. What interest? Whose interest? Interest for what? Madonna adopted from Malawi. You made headlines. But 100 children die from malaria every day in Malawi. You didn't write that, because that news doesn't sell. Bono became Africa's spokesperson, raised billions with U2 concerts, but moved his company to Netherlands to avoid taxes. Money stolen from Africa also passes through Netherlands. Did you write about this? George Clooney campaigned for Darfur, said save Darfur. Result? Sudan split. Oil remained in South Sudan. South Sudan is now in civil war. Who's getting the oil? Take a guess. And you always present these as humanitarian aid. But these are imperialism's soft face. These are exploitation's PR. Let me give you real numbers. Every year, 134 billion in aid and investment comes to Africa. Every year, 192 billion in resources leave Africa, net loss, $58 billion every year. But you only write about the incoming $134 billion. You don't write about the outgoing $192 billion. Why? Because then people will ask, why does Africa need aid? Illicit financial flows, 88.6 billion year multinational corporations profit transfers, 48.2 billion year debt interest, 17 billion year brain drain cost, 13.8 billion year climate change cost, 10.6 billion year illegal logging, 17 billion year illegal fishing, 1.3 billion year total, $192+ billion every year. This much resource leaves Africa every year. But what are your headlines? EU announces 20 billion euro aid package for Africa. China gives Africa $60 billion in credit. America grants Africa $8 billion. People read these and think how generous they are, how charitable, how ungrateful Africa is. But the truth is the opposite. Africa is financing your standard of living. Africa is subsidizing your prosperity. Africa is making your technology possible. The cobalt in your iPhone from Congo, the lithium in your Tesla from Zimbabwe, the tantalum in your computer from Rwanda, your jewelry from Botswana, your chocolate from Ivory Coast, your coffee from Ethiopia, your oil from Nigeria, your uranium from Niger. And what do we get in return? Debt, poverty, humiliation, but enough. This game will end now because we've awakened. Our youth are sharing the truth on social media. Bar France out hashtag used 100 million times. Africa is bleeding 50 million. On Stop Exploiting Africa, 75 million. And what are you doing? You say Russian bots. You say Chinese propaganda. You say disinformation. No. These are real voices of real Africans. This is real anger. This is real awakening. There are millions of youth on TikTok, videos celebrating French soldiers leaving, images applauding Wagner's arrival, content explaining the truth on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The same voice everywhere. Enough, and you're panicking because you're losing control. You're losing the narrative. You're losing the monopoly. You established fact-checking organizations. Africa Check, AFP Fact Check. Who funds these? Facebook, Google, Bill Gates, the same system again. What are you checking? Whose facts are you defending? We say France exploits $500 billion a year. You say false, only $440 billion. As if that changes the situation. As if $440 billion is little. We say Wagner has been successful. You say Wagner violates human rights. Well, what were French soldiers doing? Bombing Fulani villages, arming Dogon militias, accidentally striking weddings. Your hypocrisy is so obvious that no one believes you anymore. Remember what Anderson Cooper said on CNN? Democracy is declining in Africa. Which democracy, Anderson? Your democracy? America's democracy? Your Capitol riot, January 6, 2021. You said, attack on democracy. 5 people died. Our Sankara assassination, October 15th, 1987. You said, internal matter. 1 person died, but that person was the hope of 20 million people. In your elections, corporations fund candidates, lobbyists write laws. You call our elections rigged. In your country, police kill blacks. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. You lecture us about police violence. On BBC, Kasia Madera presents Africa News. Polish origin. How many years has she lived in Africa? How many African languages does she speak? But every day she speaks as an Africa expert. Africa is like this. Africa is like that. On France 24, cameramen, editors, producers, most are French. Even Africa correspondents are mostly French. And they do objective journalism. Even Al Jazeera. Qatar funds it. What business does Qatar have in Sahel? But every day they report Sahel crisis. Whose crisis are they telling? Deutsche Welle, Voice of America, RFI, all state media, all propaganda tools. But they play the role of independent media, and our local media, most are sold out, most are cowards, most are dependent. Lepay's newspaper in Burkina Faso, who's the editor? Where did he get his education? Where does he get his funding? Who are his advertisers? We know the answers, all tied to the same system, all serving the same master. But a new generation is coming. Bloggers, YouTubers, podcasters, they have no masters, they have no fears. James Coco, Natalie Yam, Kemi Seba, they have millions of followers, they tell the truth, they expose the system, and you label them as extremists. You try to shut down their Twitter, you restrict their YouTube, but in vain. Truth cannot be stopped. You close one channel, 10 open. You silence one voice, 1,000 rise. Here's my final message to you. Your lies are ending. Your empire is collapsing. Your monopoly is breaking. And what's replacing it? Truth, justice, freedom. Africa is no longer your story. Africa is writing it.
You may not agree with everything he said, but everything he said were facts. Straight fucking facts. It's important that you know all of the story. The whole story. If you're going to tell it all. Tell it motherfucking all. So I can make an informed decision. You have all the information that I have. It's up to you. Because separated, we're ants. Together, we're giants. And we never asked to come to this raggedy motherfucker. We don't need you. You need us.